Need a wizard one.
Tip right there, nice and even. And I can torque here. For torquing this part down, I just put the tape on the foam, just torque all the way down, nice and tight. This is what holds your sword in place so it doesn't slide off the core or doesn't slide down onto your hand. So you want to torque this nice and tight all the way down onto the core. Just like that.
I didn't expect to really be fighting a lot today, but I'm in the mood to fight a lot.
So now, torque down here, it won't slide off, it won't push down. This holds it in place is the idea. Alright? Now, add a cap here. You can once again, you can use that cap foam. I don't like it as much because it isn't quite as nice. Something Dave uses, our stress ball. Cut a stress ball in half, put it on top, works nicely. Nice round shape. That's about the same size as this, that works nicely. You can also just use fanoodle, cut it in half, throw it on top. That works just fine. Probably just a little bit too long. Got some foam, about the same size as the fanoodle. Throw it on there.
And
that works just fine.
While they're signing in, she's right over here. Sign the concessions.
All right. And make sure everyone signs in. Hi, Ox. Oh, please. Thank you. All right. So this just holds it in place, and you're done. No, I'm just kidding. All right. This holds it in place for a second. So now you have a couple choices. I recommend wrapping the handle for a couple reasons. Wrapping the sword itself, because generally speaking, the foam will break down a lot sooner if you don't. It makes it slightly stiffer, slightly heavier, but it makes it last a lot longer. So I recommend doing that always. You can either wrap it up and down, nice lines if you want to, or wrap it in a spiral. Either one works just fine.
Doesn't the spiral usually cut into the foam then?
You don't want to torque it, you just want to cover it in tape. So if you just lightly spiral it, it's fine. If you fucking like this, that's not good. But Dane, or my dad, spiral wraps his all the time, totally fine. When you do, whatever way you want to do it, make sure you overlap. If you leave a gap in the tape, that's where it will break. If you spiral wrap or go up and down, if you leave a crack, it will break right there, because that's where all the pressure will happen. So make sure and overlap always. It's easier to see the tape when you're inside so you can see better for wrapping or whatever, but here the sun makes it clear. So I'm just going to go up and down because that's what I usually do. Either one works fine, neither one is better than the other. I've heard this uses less tape. I haven't done the math, I don't care. So generally speaking, this is what I do. I wrap up and down. Make sure and lay it out flat if at all possible. It will try and wrinkle on you. Try and just make sure it lays out flat, because it's going to want to be a bitch and be able. Once again here, you don't want to torque this, just wrap it over the top. You're not torquing anything down. You're just covering it in tape, because that helps the longevity of the foam. You want to make this a nice, mean, heavy stick or anything. You're just making it last for a while. The up and down method works nicely because it also tapes the tip on better. If you do the spiral wrap, which is fine, you need to make sure you tape the tip on better first so that the tip doesn't fly off on you.
And then you stab someone, and the cops come after you.
Yeah, for some reason they don't like that. I don't know why.
Murder is apparently illegal. I don't know why.
Just like with anything else, the heavier tape you use, the longer it'll last. It'll be more durable, but the heavier it'll be, obviously. When you make things lighter, you will sacrifice durability. That's just the way it goes. There's a nice middle ground sometimes, but you cannot make something as light as it can be and still keep it as durable as it was when you use it. So just something to keep in mind when you're picking out tape. Go ahead, if you want something durable, pick out the heavier tape. If you want something lighter, but you're going to have to fix more often, the lighter tape works nicely for that. Package tape comes in many different, sizes, colors, shapes, whatever. There's even some that have the veins in them, the strapping tape. That's very strong. It has the veins of nylon in there, but those are also heavier. So whatever works for you. Now it's all wrapped around very nicely. I always, in any case, I will always spiral wrap a little bit around the tip. Once again, don't torque it, just wrap it around, and I go down a little bit just to help hold the tip on, overlapping. No matter what, I always do that. Generally speaking, if you're going to add more tape ever to a sword, it's going to be from here to here. This is where it'll break down. This part, you almost never hit. This is where it will always break down, 99% of the time. So if you're going to add more, like I know people that do this and spiral wrap up to here, that's fine. That adds more weight, but this lasts longer. So if it breaks down, it'll break down here. So if you're ever going to add tape, even if you add a little bit of tape, add it here. This is boring. This is unnecessary. So now I have a pretty functional sword right here. You can tape this down again if you need to get it out of your way. You can use your handle tape, whatever you want to do to get this to stop annoying you. You can use electrical tape, this kind of grip tape, the tennis racket stuff that I use, whatever. Anything that works for you. Then it's got to throw a cover over it. You can use nylon, pantyhose, socks.
I always like regular old socks.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works for you. Once again, the same thing with covers. The lighter it is, the less durable it's going to be. So, if you put a nice light pantyhose, super thin cover on there, it won't last nearly as long as, for instance, like a nice big tube sock. But the tube sock is going to be heavier, so either one is fine. There is no wrong choice, quote unquote. But you just need to know what you're choosing here. What are your pros and cons? Where the hell are my covers going?